الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف النبيين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to all hadith disciples and YouTubers upon the Sunnah to another episode of 5 Minutes of Fa'idah. In this episode we would like to discuss a few of the things that are scarce amongst students of knowledge these days, especially students of knowledge in the West, where maybe the environment isn't conducive to a few things, or it might be more difficult for them to do a few things, but there are many things in general that a student of knowledge could do and should do that they don't. So from these things, it's very, very important for a student of knowledge to act upon what he knows. The student of knowledge should be the person with the most ibadah. Because why? Because he knows the virtues of it. Try to be in the first saf. He knows the virtues of coming to the masjid early. He knows the virtues of making the sunnah salah. He knows the great virtues of tahajjud and qiyamul layl. He knows the status of al-witr. He knows the status of fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, or fasting every other day, or fasting 3 days out of the month, or praying salatul duha if he or she is able to. And the list goes on on the different kinds of ibadat, adhkar of the morning and the evening, and different things that a student of knowledge should do. Why? Because a student of knowledge is responsible for the knowledge that they have. And if they don't act upon the knowledge that they have, then they are responsible for it. It will be a proof against them, Yawm al-Qiyamah. So that's the first thing, is ibadat. Making sure that you act upon that which you know. Having good adab, good etiquette, good manners with people. This is something especially for the student of knowledge to do. Again, because he knows better than most other people, and because he's a person or she's a person of status, of nobility and character, and they should be implementing and employing the characterisms and the mannerisms of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the best of mankind, who was sent, as he himself sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, to perfect good character. So this is number 2. Number 3, regards to the studies itself. Reading, having a schedule, having a program for yourself is very, very important when it comes to being a student of knowledge. If you want to be a student of knowledge, what should your program be? For example, a full-time student of knowledge obviously is different from somebody, has to go to work 9 to 5, he has kids, she has to go to work, she has to take care of her parents, she has kids to take care of until the end of it. But there are several things that should be constant in every student of knowledge's life. Number 1 is reading. Reading the books of ulama, reading the books of hadith, whatever your program has for you to read that day. Usul al-fiqh, seerah, Arabic studies, Quran. Every day you should have a piece of the Quran that you have to read or memorize. Reading hadith every single day. Books of usul al-fiqh, books of seerah, learning the Arabic language if you can't read these books in Arabic is something that is constant. It should be a constant in every student of knowledge's life. Every hadith disciple, every hadith disciplet. I know Brother Mufti, he's talked many times about this, and I've also mentioned it a few times. Reading should be the staple. One of our mashayikh in Kulliyat al-Hadith, he asked us this question. We had a large gathering and he asked us, how many hours a day should a student read? One guy put his hand up, he said, Shaykh, 4 hours a day. And the Shaykh said, really? That's it? Somebody else said, Shaykh, 6 hours a day at least. He said, that's all you're going to read? Somebody else said, Shaykh, 10 hours a day. The Shaykh looked at him, he was like, Somebody said, Shaykh, 14 hours a day. The Shaykh said, no, I'm going to tell you how much reading you should do every single day. He said, your day, reading should be the asl. It should be the asas. Your day, all the time that you spend, the base and the main thing should be reading. That's how much you should read. Your main thing. Everything else that you do is not your base. It's not your foundation. Not what you normally do. What you should normally be doing is reading. So that was an advice that had a profound effect on me and many of the other students, was that majority of your time should be spent reading. As many of the other classical scholars have also mentioned, that reading should be a staple part of your day. Revision, not just reading for memorization, but reading as revision. Revising notes that you took, revising the ahadith that you wrote, revising the Quran that you memorized, Revision is the life or the soul of knowledge. Without revision, you won't have anything. And as Ibn al-Jawzi mentioned, that which you memorized is your capital, and your profits is when you use that which you memorized. So if you memorize something, for example, but then you forgot it, then you've lost your capital. You have nothing to spend. So revision, reading, revision, very, very important for every student of knowledge, every hadith disciple and disciplet. These are three of the main things that I wanted to talk about. How much time do we have left? No? Okay, until the next episode then, inshallah, we have a lot more. Maybe we can do a class or a series or something on it later. Until the next episode, sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Allah accept from all of us. Ameen.
Ameen.